Today on Rappler. Authorities seize kilograms of uranium in a Cagayan de Oro subdivision. The bicameral conference committee will not reinstate the 1.3 billion pesos slashed by the House from the budget proposed by the Sara Duterte-led Office of the Vice President. Brazilian President Lula da Silva undergoes brain surgery. UnitedHealthcare CEO murder suspect Luigi Mangione is arrested in Pennsylvania after a 5-day manhunt. And Filipino Sofronio Vasquez wins the 26th season of The Voice USA.
Naghahanap ka pa rin? Shop na sa Lazada para mas sulit tipid araw-araw.
Authorities in combat gear and anti-radiation suits seized 3 to 5 kilograms of uranium-238 and uranium-235 in a residence in Barangay Gusa, Cagayan de Oro. The National Bureau of Investigation says it caught Roy Vistal, the alleged syndicate leader trafficking hazardous uranium. The operation marks the end of a 2-month investigation stretching across 3 cities in Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao, Pasay, Mandaue, and Cagayan de Oro. Vistal's partner in the syndicate, May Virgel Zagala, and associate Arnel Gimpaya Santiago were apprehended in Pasay City along with 3 kilograms of the uranium isotopes. The Philippine Nuclear Research Institute says it alerted the NBI to the group's illicit trade of the hazardous materials. There are strict regulations on uranium-238 and highly radioactive and fissionable uranium-235 as they are essential to nuclear energy and weapons production. The NBI says the uranium isotopes can be used by terrorist organizations to beef up their weaponry. But the PNRI chief clarifies, the recovered uranium would not be enough to produce a bomb, but its residual powder will still be dangerous to the public. The 3 suspects are now in the custody of the Justice Department for violating the Atomic Energy Regulatory and Liability Act of 1968. The bicameral conference committee agrees not to reinstate the 1.3 billion pesos slashed by the House of Representatives from the more than 2 billion peso request of the Sara Duterte-led Office of the Vice President for 2025. It only approved 733 million pesos for the OVP. This despite pledges by some Duterte-allied senators such as Bato de la Rosa and Bongo to work on the restoration of the OVP's budget for next year. In September, the House only approved 733 million pesos, an apparent punishment for Duterte's continuous snub of the Chamber's deliberations on her proposed budget. The 1.3 billion pesos removed from Duterte's budget proposal will be realigned to social services projects of the Department of Social Welfare and Development and the Department of Health instead. Duterte earlier said her office will make do with her slashed budget. During an inquiry into her use of confidential funds, it was discovered that her security personnel and not special disbursing officers managed the funds. Brazilian President Lula da Silva undergoes surgery in São Paulo to drain a bleed on his brain linked to a fall at home in October. His doctors say the 79-year-old president is doing well and being monitored in the intensive care unit. Lula underwent an MRI late on Monday after suffering a headache which detected an intracranial hemorrhage. Lula fell at home in late October and suffered a small brain hemorrhage and trauma to the back of his head that required stitches. Tests in early November showed his condition had remained stable. The president's injury forced him to cancel a trip to Russia for a summit of the BRICS group of major emerging markets. Luigi Mangione, the suspected killer of UnitedHealthcare CEO Brian Thompson, is arrested in Altoona, Pennsylvania after a 5-day manhunt. Thompson was shot dead on December 4 in Manhattan in what the police say is a targeted attack. His murder unleashed a wave of frustration from Americans struggling to afford medical care and those who have been denied claims or care. CBS News reports the NYPD believe Mangione's grievances about UnitedHealthcare motivated the murder. Mangione referred to corporations as mafiosa that have gotten too powerful. Mangione was an Ivy League graduate who worked at a car-buying website as a data engineer but suffered from chronic back pain. Officers found in his backpack a 3D-printed ghost gun, an untraceable firearm. He also had multiple fake IDs, including one used by the gunman. His defense lawyer says he would oppose extradition to New York, where Mangione is charged with murder and other crimes. He will remain in jail in Pennsylvania, where he faces gun and forgery charges. Filipino singer Sofronio Vasquez wins The Voice USA Season 26. Before the win, Vasquez's mentor Michael Bublé says the singer could become the first contestant of Asian origin to win the prestigious show. Now Vasquez makes history in the 26th season of The Voice USA. He impresses the coaches and the audience with his finale rendition of A Million Dreams from The Greatest Showman and Sia's Unstoppable. Vasquez earns $100,000 in cash prize and a record deal with Universal Music Group. Vasquez is a 4-chair turner during his blind audition with his cover of Mary J. Blige's I'm Going Down. He competed in its Showtime Tawag ng Tanghalan in 2019, where he ranked 3rd place. And that's today's wrap. I'm Kara Oliver. Thank you for watching. Click the link below for the full story. Follow us on Rappler's YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, and TikTok.